Hey, this is Jan from NEQ. I want to share with you today an interesting topics. Digital business fundamentals. After having the last week interesting conversations with many business leaders, marketing teams, and people, thanks all to the NEQ launch, I noticed that there is a huge gap between the understanding of the digital concepts of the world and what the leaders, businesses really knows about this. And that is negatively impacting the business strategy. So I decided to share today with you foundations of the digital concept that we need to have for our companies. Those digital concepts has one intention: make sustainable and scalable our strategies and simplifies our lives. And in NEQ, we care about time, we care about enjoy our lives. So let me share this with you. So let's move to the topic. Let me share the screen here. And well, that is, I have my other screen there. So let me see to that part. I have this presentation, and you can have that presentation if you fill the form that we have in the YouTube or the other channels that we share this video. We need data, we need to find customers, to find market as many other companies. That is the truth about this. So if you're interested in this, fill the form. You can have that presentation and a spreadsheet that could help you to organize your digital world, at least the foundations. We will review the spreadsheet at the end of the video. So just fill the form. Let's move to the topic today. Digital foundations for entrepreneurs, business leaders, owners, no matter how big is your company. This is important foundations, pillars, and concepts. Could be a startup, could be an idea and you are starting developing, could be a company with 10 to 20 years in the market. These foundations are important. So, we will run these 9 topics in this conversation today. And I created a kind of way to explain this concept if we try to understand as a big mall, those big commercial malls. So let's talk about this. Imagine the scenario. Most of our countries and our cities, we have malls, big malls. Could be have 500 stores, 1,000 stores, maybe 5,000 stores, physical stores of any kind. No, you can find food, sports, you can find books, anything, apparels, everything. But digital world and internet, it is a big and huge, the biggest mall ever. So we have millions or even billions of stores, businesses there. And when I say a store, imagine something like this. It could be a company, could be a product of service, could be a personal brand, could be an idea, an startup. Most of the stores that are there could be anything. So if we are saying that we are competing in a huge mall, almost infinite mall, how customers can find us. And the foundations help us in this process with them. So imagine that big mall, how you can let people find you in that mall, no? So they have many floors, many levels, many corridors, many ways or paths they can take. And they can lose in that big mall. In fact, they can be distracted because that mall has everything, has those small islands that are the social medias and many other things. So that is the kind of idea I want to build here with you. So if we are in that mall, domains and the internet domains, it is the name that we have in that mall and are the coordinates to be findable so people can reach us and know where our store are. And just imagine something like this. Let me move to my whiteboard here. You know that I don't have the best drawings, but let me try. So what is a domain? We can have today and I need to make the advertisement as well. No, so neq.ai. This is one internet domain, and the domains most of the time has at least two things. You can find the name of the domain here, and you can find the extension. No, so this is the extension, this is the name of your domain. Extension, it is something that in the old days, I talking about 20 years ago, we used to manage to understand the category of the domain, the .com, the .net, .org, and many others. But now that changed most of the time. So we use extension maybe to try to create more relationship with the kind of business. So we use AI in the case of NEQ, for example, to say an artificial intelligence company, no? But AI, it is really a domain of a specific country, no? But we use as the commercial way, and many other companies, and you can use the .com. You can use, for example, for your countries. I'm Colombian guy with French name, with company in the US. So in Colombia, we have the .com. That is a way to use the domain, or can be only .co. And that is the way that we have the extensions. Name for the domain should be something easy to remember. Could be the name of your company, the legal or the commercial name of your company, could be of your product. And a company can have multiple domains. For example, in NEQ, we have these domains. You can find us neq.ai, yes, .io. It is another domain that we have here. And you can find, for example, neqai.com. And you can play with the different names, looking for make simple for your users to find you. But what really domains this in this process? Imagine something like this. In the physical mall, most of the time you say to your user, you can find me in level 3. Yes. Maybe in the blue section. And in the local or the store number, let's say 303, just to say a number. So your real coordinates here, it is something like level 3, blue 303. No, that is something. Most of your people, most of your potential customers won't remember that. For that reason, many companies in the physical mall try to say, we are the store in the 3rd level. If you take the stairs and give other reference of other store, or say the north stairs or something like this. So you try to use coordinates to make your users remember you. Same's happen here with the domains. Most of the times, those domains has an IP address on behind. And what mean an IP address? You can find IP address, let's say 201 dot here, let's say 35.101.55. For sure, if you publish this in your business cards, in your post, and many other things, people won't remember, won't learn, won't memorize your IP. But if you start associating in your communication your business brand with your domain, people could be remember you. You are increasing the way to remember. So the business domain, the internet domains, it is the core of all your digital foundations strategy. Good domains with good registrants that are the partners that you use to pay and control your domains are important and vital in your positioning strategy, in your digital strategy today. So choose carefully a good registrant, a company that keeps your domain safe, and be sure and be aware about renewal days, expirations days, payment methods, because you can lose your domain for missing that information, and you need to be aware of when your domain could be expiring, and you need to be aware about any change in your internet domain. One quick advice: try to renew your domains at least for 2 years or 3 years, so you have that thing secure and safe for your business. But that is only the first part. Imagine the domain only as the coordinates and the name in that big mall for you. But what is the next topic here? The next topic, it is hosting. The hosting, it is that space. Think in the physical mall. Is that physical space an area that you have in the mall, into your store, but that is empty. This is an empty space that you have a specific measures, you have a specific area or volume for your store, no? And as many business, you can have multiple hostings. Some hostings that has public information, hostings that has private information. Think in your warehouse. You don't have everything from the warehouse on your commercial stores, no? For that reason, you have warehouses, and you could have file management that is in the office. You don't have that in the public hosting, for example. So you can have different hostings. That is in the physical world, but in the virtual, in the digital world, works very similar. You can have hosting for your website. You can have hosting for your email service and your collaborations tool. You can have hostings for your internal applications, for your databases, and many other of them. And they could be connected in secure way. So hosting, it is the empty space, but you need to decide what to do with that empty space, no space. So in that way, you need to decorate, you need to work and fill that space. Hostings need to be reliable, need to be secure, and need to fit the requirements and localization for your company. Imagine something like this. If most of your customers or your target market it is in the USA, the more natural decision it is have a hosting in the USA. But if your target market it is, let's say, in Europe or the UK, the most natural decision it is have a hosting there, because it is the closest path for all your users in the digital world to come to your hosting. Same things happen in the physical world. You try to set the store the more closest location to most of your users. So that is the same principle here. You need to have a hosting with security, reliability, a hosting that could help you to have backups, access of information. And there are many kinds of hostings you can find as the big clouds, Microsoft Azure, Google, AWS, and many others. And you can find other intermediate and still good hostings based on your context, your needs, your requirements. So always review that part. Once you have the hosting, let's keep that conversation from the commercial and business perspective, no? So that is the front end for your business, the public face of your business. And you need a website. The website is how you decorate that hosting. So your physical store, or in this time your digital store, it is something attractive, nice, and friendly for your users. Imagine this. You go to a store, enter to that store, you see maybe the showcase and something like this, but you could not walk the store. Nothing is clear. You cannot find anything that you are looking for. There is nobody that could give you feedback, understanding, prices, anything. There is no way to understand what that people try to sell to you. Well, maybe you just go to the store, visit, and leave the store without any action, any decision, any question. Same happen with the websites. Websites needs to be accessible, friendly, communicative, needs to be the right communication, the right focus for your audience, and not only for your audience, to anybody, because as anything in a mall, anybody can enter into a specific store just to watch, just to visit. without any intention to purchase. But how you decorate your store could make change their minds to make an action. The action could be question, could be ask, could be make a purchase, could recommend, could give feedback, and all that is important. So same happen with the website. You need to decorate your website being friendly, communicative, accessible, so anyone that visits your website really understand what you do, what you are offering, how you can help them, how you can solve something for them, and they could make an action. And the actions in the website world are easy. More time in the web. They make a click in a button, they fill a form, they decide to purchase. So you need to optimize your website. If you want to understand more how website can be optimized, check our video about heat maps in the YouTube channel that explain how the user behavior can be understood and improved into your website. So websites, it is the decoration and must fit the space of that specific hosting that you have. So when I say the space, it is not only about the storage per se. It is about the features, the speed, the security, the reliability, everything to make the web experience, the visitor experience, the best. And here, every second counts. So have that in mind. The next part, it is social media. And I want to explain social media as those small islands that you can find in a physical mall. No, you have the big stores, and there are stores small, medium, large. You can have any kind of stores, but we have the islands as well. No, so imagine the social media as the islands. You have islands there, and those islands have content, have sometimes a small offer, sometimes has somebody that attend the island. No, that is the social media, but they have something interesting in common. All the social medias are the same space. So it is a kind of a small free hosting for businesses, but that free has a small letter on behind. No, that means that we as company, our traffic, our users, our community are not from our companies. It is not something that we own per se. It is something that really the social media owns, and we are only one island there that are kind of renting the space if we have a good community. If we don't have that good community, if we are not attractive for people, well, our island is just forget it in this process. So if everyone has those islands, we need to make the decisions and fill the island with the right information, because it is the same space for everyone there. And when I said that, where is the point where content and active content strategies are important for the social media? And let me promote NEQ again here, because the social medias, the social channels are hungry of content every day. If you stop creating content, if you stop publishing and interacting and everything in a social media, one day you are still being forgetting by the network, by your community, by everyone there. So you need to keep posting every time, and that is what NEQ solves for you. Remove all that stress. NEQ publish content for you with consistency, with your brand awareness, with the alignment for your brand, and with the continuous feedback, understanding what is changing in your digital world. But let's continue here in our topic. So decide which are your best social media and fill with content, because imagine that you create a social media account in each channel for your company, but you only focus on 3 of them. And let's say there are 10 social potential medias. So you have 7 that is totally alone. Forget it. It is empty. And that will destroy the image of your company. That will create a sense of that is not a trustable company. That is not a company that be aware of their channels. So be careful when you choose your social channels. But we will talk about this in a future section in this presentation, in this chat. So you need to have your social media that must be aligned with your brand. And the other point here, it is you need to use your social media to drive traffic to the next step in the journey. And that is only possible if you have a website with a good domain and a nice hosting. So you need to align that journey. And you can say to me, Jan, but I'm getting clients, I'm selling in my social media. Yes, many companies, many business models and people can do that, but it's not for everyone. Imagine trying to buy a luxury car in social media. Will you spend $200,000 in a social media? Maybe you want a website, and maybe you won't spend in the website, but at least the social media create awareness, the website creates trust to move to the physical store of the car dealer and make the purchase. So you need to understand the journey for the user, because not everything is digital. You need to work in hybrid journeys there. But that is for another topic, more for the strategy. Let's keep focused on digital work. Your social channels need to drive traffic to your website. And no matter if you make sales or not in your social media, you should have a good website that generates reputation, generates positioning, and we will talk about that in a few slides. The next part, it is just positioning, no few slides. The next slide, sorry. So positioning, it is too much interesting today. In the old days, we only talk about SEO, that is the search engine optimization, and we most of the times we need to care about Google. But that changed after the generative AI in November 2022. Now we need to be careful about the positioning for the AI search as well, and for the social media and many other channels. So it is not easy, the positioning, because it is not only about keywords today, it is about answers. And that is what the AI and the generative AI gives to your company today. In the old days, we need to go to the search engine, ask with a specific words, and the engine try to make that match between the words from the company, the words from the users, and present some alternatives. And you can go, or you need to go link by link, trying to research if that fits based on what you need. No, but now with the AI, it is totally different, because you just ask, AI review tens or hundreds of links in less than 1 minute and give to you not only what it finds, it gives to you what recommends better for your case based on all the memory that has about you. So that changed the game here. We need not only to communicate, we don't need only to have keywords, we need to have answers for what the users are looking for, so the AI can recommend us. And positioning needs to rely on a specific domains. If we have a strong domain positioning for our brand, well, AI and the search engine that is still relevant today, and the social media can find us better. So the domain, when I said it is the core of the full foundations, is because centralize everything about the name of our company. Just imagine when you register your company in your country with the legal entities, now you set a name, and everything now it is centralized in the name of your company. That is the same with your domain. When you choose your domain, everything is centralized with that, and positioning always point to that domain. That is the important side here. Talking about channels, we have the email channel. And email is not dead, and I can think it won't dead soon. It's transforming, it's changing, but email gives to your company something important. It gives authority and trust. Just imagine this. You are going to a specific e-commerce or a page that you can buy something, and that has a cost of $900. $1,000. Simplify for me. Sorry, numbers. It is hard for me in English. So $1,000. You can purchase something by $1,000. But you need to make questions. You need to ask something. You move to the footer of the page and you find something like contact@gmail.com. You can trust your $1,000 purchase in a company that don't use corporate emails. And when I said corporate emails, it's because at your domain, at your company domain. No, that is the difference here. Could be hosted in Google. That is great. Could be hosted in Microsoft or many other providers. But you need to use your domain, and that makes the difference. If you go to that footer for that $1,000 purchase and you find contact at a specific business, you can trust more because you know there is something on behind. There is a system, an automation, person, something on behind that can solve your request, your query. It's not one free email that is on that page that nobody cares. So try to use corporate emails, and today that is part of the transformation because a corporate image, it is connected to a full digital ecosystem. For example, in AnyCube, we use Microsoft 365 because we like that, because it helps and empower our operation, because it's easy to manage for us. But for example, Google Workspace is good ecosystem, it's amazing ecosystem as well. What depends? It depends on your business context and for sure on you and your team. What is more easy and understandable for them? What is the way that you can scale better, that works better for you, that can create that systems and leverage for your company? When you identify that, Microsoft, Google, or many others that exist in the market could be the best fit for you. The most important, have corporate emails. And emails needs a specific hosting, no? So that is the reason, for example, the free emails give to you 15 gigabytes of memory, no? And if you use everything, you need to pay to get more space. Same happen with the corporate emails. You need to pay the account in Microsoft or Google or any other, and you have not 15 gigabytes. For example, with the Microsoft 365 accounts we have at AnyCube, we have like a 50 gigabytes only in the email, no? So better emails, more storage, better secure, all the things that comes with the corporate emails. And the good thing for the small companies, for the startups here, it is now all those providers let you to buy one account or 10 accounts or 3 accounts. You don't need to make huge purchases, and you can make directly in the cloud without depend on any other. Once you have your social channels, your website, your email, it is time to decide part on the digital world, which is your service channels strategy. You could be one channel, multiple channels, or omni-channels. And that only depends on your strategy for the market, the continuous go-to-market, and from your market and your customers. And understand this, every time that you add a new channel, you adding complexity, cost, and effort to your business, because new channels need to be attended, need to be maintained, and you need to improve every time. If you add new channels and don't attend them, you are creating a negative impact for your business, because it has a local store closed every time without anybody that could serve, attend there. In fact, could be almost empty, no? So you need to think in that way. So my recommendation, it is analyze and use the channels that really you can manage, that you can support and work, and don't add more complexity for your business. You can make agreements with your customers, with your market, and say this is our official channels, and promote your official channels there. And all your official channels must be aligned and direct to your domain. So see how the domain, again, it is the core of your strategy there. You need to add channels that you can attend. Don't add channels to be just alone or forgetting them, because that will be create a sense of less trust in your business. The final part here, and it is too much important because it's the most critical situation for many companies. The accounts, credentials, access, security of all your digital ecosystem. Think in this as the keys of your business. So, will you give the keys of your warehouse or your bank accounts, of all your documents, of the cash of your company? Maybe not. You give access sometimes to specific people with a specific authorization, and you need control on that side. And the same happen here. Don't delegate the main keys of your digital world or the digital ecosystem to anybody. I see many times companies that say, I give my user and password of the domain to this agency, to that tech person, to that tech support, and now they have the data that doesn't want to give to me. They transfer my domain, they transfer my hosting. I don't have control. I lose my digital presence. And the digital presence is a valuable asset for your company. So don't give those keys to anybody. So you need to control those keys. You need to use secure passwords. You need to use two-factor authentication. It is too much important because the two-factor authentication, it is the way that you can stop an attack. And an attack could be transfer the domain to other people, transfer your hosting, delete your hosting, delete data, stole data. There is many ways of attack. So two-factor authentication, maybe don't break or stop anything, everything, but it stops many of them. I could say 95% or more, and helps you to have control, to be aware in that process. So try to use the two-factor authentication in everything. There are good applications, Microsoft Authenticator, Google Authenticator, and many others that have everything safe for you. So how you can make that? Well, let me say something here. It is organize your access. You need to have the ownership and own all your accesses. And for that, we have something like this. We want to share with you. You only need to fill the form that we have in this YouTube video or the channel that we are sharing this video. Just fill the form and you will receive the presentation and this spreadsheet. What you can find in this spreadsheet. The first part, it is you can have a landscape of the budget of your digital ecosystem. And that is important because you need to add those expenses for your business and be aware and ready for them. You will find something to manage your access. You can have here, I have domains in these registrants. I have my email here or my collaborations tools. I have my hosting. This is my social media access. Everything in one place, and you can control, for example, who other people are accessing. You have the two-factor authentication and other things, no? And you can add the renewals here and the budget to renew. And that is important because you need to add, and most of the times the consequence to not renew, it is a negative impact for your business. If you lose your domain or your domain stop converting the addresses and the IPs on behind, your email traffic stop. Your payments could be stopped as well. All the redirections, your lead magnets, everything could be break in 1 minute. So you need to be aware of many of them. Same happen with email, with hosting, are important. And if you have the chance, try to renew not only for 1 year, try to renew for 2 or 3 years. You can add here another sheet with your payment methods. You don't need to fill all the information about the payment method, but most important here, it is understand which payment method are you using with each specific asset, digital asset that you have, because you don't want to be or have problems with those assets and access just because a payment method expired or you have a problem there. So be organized with that information as well. You can have a budget planner. It is important And most of the companies don't have a complex digital ecosystem. So you can have everything in one place with one budget and the control, and could be less than 10 rows more of the time. You should have a kind of directory of all the providers or vendors that you depend for that digital ecosystem. No, could be the direct companies, could be the partners or the resellers. No matter that, but you need to have the information, because what happens if one of them disappear? What happens if you lose the contact with them? So that helps you to be aware and have control with them. And finally, you'll see some instructions and ideas here how you can use this spreadsheet for better process. So fill the form, we will send to you with the automation, of course, the spreadsheet, the presentation that we used before. And please leave your feedback, leave your comments, follow NEQ, review our website, and help us to grow, because, well, as many other companies, we are here to grow, to support others, to solve. Thanks. Bye.